We find that after every disaster, and Harvey's no exception, about 50% of the applications for legal services have to do with FEMA itself. So we've been doing a lot of FEMA appeals. We've also invested quite a bit of time trying to understand what's going on with the new housing assistance program that's being developed by the state of Texas in partnership with FEMA, and then the local, I understand that Coastal Bend COG is... exactly. So we're actually planning an internal training on that, and then hope to train a lot of the volunteers on how that's going to work now that a little more information is available about that. We also have, as Rebecca was mentioning, worked with a number of pro bono attorneys at law firms across the nation, as well as law schools, and have been training them to do the FEMA appeals because it's such a huge part of the work after each disaster. But a quarter of the cases tend to be landlord-tenant issues, and those come up right after the disaster, and then we clear title for people since that helps them seek money to repair their homes. Generally, you need to show ownership in order to get that assistance. We help people with clearing title to mobile homes as well, so a different animal than clearing title to real estate. And consumer issues, insurance questions, as well as contractor problems. So that's the bulk of the work we do. There's kind of a smattering of other things.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot, about how many people you've worked with from Nueces County that fall into those categories?
I actually had a colleague pull those numbers while I was sitting here. It occurred to me you might want those numbers. So we've had 272 applications in Nueces County specifically arising out of Harvey, and that's for all legal issues combined. For FEMA cases, there's about 154 strictly in Nueces, and then 15 more that had to do either with SBA or National Flood Insurance or something else like that was more specific to the FEMA and federal assistance programs.
And are you getting anywhere?
Yes. I'll explain to you our background. I've done this for 15 years and worked on 15 federally declared disasters throughout TRLA service area, which covers 68 counties. So I've done this in Nueces a few different times, but I'm also in charge of it for our larger region. We've filed lawsuits against FEMA in the past, just resolved one through settlement last year that went on after Hurricane Dolly, starting in 2008. But we try to hold FEMA's feet to the fire and seek more transparency and consistency in the decisions. We filed another lawsuit in 2016. That one is still in the D.C. circuit. It's on appeal now. But we were concerned about Nueces County survivors affected by the flooding in 2015, as well as some of our clients in the Rio Grande Valley that don't understand how FEMA can say you've had insufficient damage, so we're going to give you zero funds to repair your home. Now the verbiage is a little different. FEMA says your home is safe to occupy. But through that kind of litigation, we have learned a lot about how the decisions are actually made. While FEMA is not transparent, we've done a lot of discovery, poured through 20,000 pages of records that we had Judge Tagle in Brownsville make decisions based on. And so that's part of why we're well prepared to explain this to others and help them work on the cases, but it informs how we do these. So are we getting anywhere? We get awards for some people. We also look at this in order to prepare another lawsuit if necessary. We're seeking clarity from FEMA through some of our partners like the Legal Services Corporation and the ABA. We have access to FEMA's General Counsel, so we're able to address some of our bigger questions with them. Doesn't mean we win all of our appeals because that's just the way FEMA works. It's a kind of broken system, but we do the best we can to work within the system and work with our partners.
Is there anything you think we can do to help you get better results?
Yes, and I would like to, I understand your interest in the Port Aransas area, and so I would like to talk to you at greater length at some point if you'd be available about how we might be able to do that. I would like to spend more time working with our community leaders because absolutely the role that you guys have puts much more pressure on the government to make things transparent and to highlight issues in the different communities. So I think that with the body of knowledge that our organization has come up with over the years and knowing who the clients are, I think we could work together very effectively.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I don't, you can, I'm happy to do it. I don't want to be the person that you're waiting to meet with. So, but at the same time, I'm happy to do it. I'm just trying to figure if there's even a quicker way to cut through it. I mean, there's certainly people out there that I don't know where they are in the process. And, you know, we've, since our last meeting, in state of full disclosure, they did call us, and, you know, we had a fairly okay meeting with them, and talking about some of the stuff that I was concerned about and still concerned about, and hopefully they're working on those things. And so there is a nice lady that's been kind of assigned to Nueces County to help us cut through some red tape too. So I don't know if it's worth having her come in there, or if it just needs to be me, or needs to be with the mayor reporter. I don't know. I just want to help people. So whatever you think we can do to help some of these people that are already in your system, or maybe some of the people that need to get in your system and don't know about it, that might be too. I don't certainly want to, and I know y'all don't either. I'm not looking to start a bunch of lawsuits. I'm just looking to figure out how to help. Right. And I know y'all don't. That's not your prime deal. I'm sure you're trying to resolve things without lawsuits. I get it. I've worked with y'all for years in many capacities, and I know that's how you do things. But I just don't want it to come across as we're sitting here discussing it, that we're talking about, okay, how can we get all these people over to you for lawsuits? That's not it. It's just, I'm just looking for every avenue I can to help, and I know you guys are too. So I'm happy to meet with you, and I'll get Hannah. I'll get Hannah we'll get some dates, and we'll figure that out. That would be great. Sure. I'll also mention we have actually restructured the way we work on our disaster cases because of Harvey. And so while we have a team that focuses on the FEMA cases and the administrative proceedings, and we also have our other practice areas, the landlord-tenant team, the consumer team, and so on, we've actually developed a special team for community development issues arising out of the disaster. And so we're looking kind of at broader things. How are things going to be rebuilt in order to make sure that affordable housing is still part of the picture as some of these communities come back. And so we're trying to deal with all of this on all these fronts. And you're absolutely right. We are not looking to do this in an adversarial way. We want to accomplish as much as we can by having a dialogue with FEMA and our partners. But if that fails, then litigation is one of the tools in our toolbox. And just a curious question, and I could never say his name when he was in my court. The guy that would always be, what was his name that was with y'all forever? Help me out. The lawyer that would do the evictions. Yeah. Carlos Aguinaga. He's still the branch manager. I work in the courthouse office downstairs. He always did a fine job and was always a great adversary, to the other lawyer on the other side. It was always fun as a judge to listen to him. So please tell him hello, and I do appreciate all that you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you both. County Clerk has a presentation for us on voting law changes.
Wait, Judge, you still have to